What's up, Virgo? Welcome or welcome back to the channel. This is another Virgo channel, and this is another Virgo reading. Let's get started with a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Thank you. Always keep in mind that this reading may not resonate with you. Please only take what feels right and leave the rest for someone else. I do ask that you hit that like button for me to help circulate the video out to other Virgos and to show your love and support. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet already. If you'd like a personal reading or to send a tip or donation to reciprocate the energy, information is in the description box down below. So we just had a new moon on the 2nd, October 2nd, we just had a new moon. And I want to see what newness is emerging into your life. I feel like we've been talking about like the shedding of the past self, the removing of limiting beliefs, old stagnant energy. We've been really focusing on that for a long time. And I want to tap into the newness that is emerging. The newness that some of you already are experiencing in your life, and the newness that this new moon cycle is going to bring in for you. So angels, ancestors, guides, please come through for Virgo. What is this newness that is emerging for Virgo, or this newness that has already emerged for Virgo? King of Swords. Yeah, the deck was upside down. And it feels like that could be what Spirit is saying to me, is this mindset shift, because the King of Swords does represent our mind, our intellect, our own personal power. And it feels like the message that I'm getting here about this mindset shift, this like turning around of the mind, your mind is turning around, and I'm getting extraordinary thinking leads to an extraordinary life. And in the last reading I did for you guys talking about October, we did talk about mental expansion. And I'm getting that you are really learning the power of your mind and starting to actually use the power of your mind. I had this person in my live session on Instagram earlier today. Shameless plug, check me out on Instagram if you want to. It's at Chandler Mastin. Again, information is in the description box if you want to check me out on Instagram, if you have Instagram. But I was live today over there, and someone had said that this was like the worst year of their life. And I've actually been thinking about that a lot lately, because I did a reading for us Virgos last year talking about how this year was going to be the best year of our lives. And part of me felt like a fraud because of that for so many months. You guys don't know this, but I know this year has been really hard for all of us. I know it has. There's been some good, but there's been some bad, and I know it's been really hard for all of us. And it does feel like it has been the worst. Like, I said it was going to be the best, and then it was actually the worst. So I've been dealing with this like internal battle of like feeling like a fraud, feeling like a scam, feeling like I lied in that reading. But then Spirit was like, hold on, stop being so hard on yourself, and how about you take a step back and look at it from a different perspective? And I was like, you know what, you're right. And when I looked at it from a different perspective, this year has been really difficult. And if it's been the worst, then there also has to be the polarity where it was the best. And I found that because I was looking for it. So I started looking for how this year was actually the best instead of the worst for me, because I want to attract more of the good, best, better energy for the years to come. And if I focus on how this year was the worst, I feel like I'm only going to manifest next year being even harder, or me still only seeing the worst parts of it. And that's not where I want to be next year. So I found this way to shift my mindset and turn my mind around regarding this year. And what I learned is that a lot of the best parts of my year came from within. I didn't really see the external representation of the growth, which I feel like is what's coming next year for me and for a lot of us too. So this year there's been a lot of internal satisfaction for me and a lot of internal growth, and this year was one of the best for me in terms of finding myself, knowing myself, learning and growing with myself, and facing fears, and also finding stability. That was such a big thing for me. I didn't have stability for so long. I got stability in January of 2024, and I've only stepped more into that and found more comfort in the stability that I've created. So in so many ways, this was the best year for me, and I'm so excited because this upcoming year, this next year that I feel like Virgos are already in, it's just going to be better because I'm focusing on the best parts of this year, even though this year was incredibly hard. And at some points I felt like it was the worst year of my life. And I'm sure some of you can relate to that too. But Spirit is asking us to look at the bigger picture, to gain a bigger perspective, and try to find the ways in which it was the best part. And that's what I was getting with this whole power of the mind thing, because our mind is incredibly powerful. And it feels like that's part of the newness that's emerging, is this like new mindset, this new belief system, these new ways of thinking that's coming in for you. All right, so that's the first thing. Thank you, angels. I see some of you getting some new crystals, or maybe you did just recently get some new crystals. I don't know why I keep getting something about crystals every time I tap into Virgos now. You might be working with crystals. You may own like your own crystal shop. You may be going to some sort of a crystal shop or a metaphysical store. Some of you are feeling really spiritual, witchy, connected to the other realms. And so you're working with your own personal magic. I love that. That's also part of the newness that's emerging. Page of Swords. Learning or relearning how to work with your own personal magic. And I like this. So some of you might be studying a little bit more about like your own personal magic, or some sort of rituals, or some sort of crystals, divination, spiritual tools. That feels like something new that's coming in here too. It feels like you're really just allowing yourself to be weird. That's what I'm getting. Allowing yourself to be weird. That's really cool. Yeah, and then we're seeing the Queen of Swords. Okay, so a lot going on mentally here, because we went from the King of Swords to the Page of Swords to the Queen of Swords. So this tells me that there's a lot of newness going on with your mind, with your speech, your throat, your vocals, your words, your verbiage, things like that. There's a lot going on with that. There's a lot of newness being opened up for you in those parts of your life. I'm getting something about like a new throat path, or like a new vocal cord or something is opening up for you. You're feeling more confident in your thoughts and in your speech. I'm also getting something about new boundaries that you're having to place. And then I saw the Seven of Wands too, with the Queen of Swords. So these are two cards that could be talking about boundaries with people. And I feel like that could be something new that's coming in for you guys too. It's like you're having to put up new boundaries because of where you're at now, energetically, mentally, spiritually. There's like new boundaries that you're having to place to protect your own peace and to protect your own sanity and your own truth. Okay, because I'm seeing the Seven of Cups here. And it does feel like you need to put up some sort of boundaries, so that way you aren't getting confused or lied to or manipulated. Because for some reason, the more that you become this version of yourself, the more there are people who like want access to it. And if they're not getting access to it, then they feel some sort of way and they're taking it as a personal attack. So then they're projecting onto you. And then you could be confused because you're like, I'm out here doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but for some reason I'm feeling this weird energy being sent by me, being sent to me. You know what I mean? And so that's why I feel like it's important that these new boundaries are coming in, and this new you that's putting up these energetic boundaries to protect and preserve your peace are important. So that's coming in. For some of you, you may be getting like a raise or a promotion at work, or you're being put in some sort of position that a lot of people want. I read that in the Seven of Wands a lot, and that could be part of what this Queen of Swords energy is too. You're really having to take authority and ownership of your position, of your platform, of your space. You're like taking up space in your own space, but it's like you need to do that because for some reason it feels like, yeah, there is some sort of competition or jealousy or comparison, and you're having to like stand up for yourself, defend yourself, speak up for yourself in some situations, and then not in others. But that's the thing here. This newness that's coming in is like this new mindset where you've grown and you're like, okay, I know that I need to speak on certain things, and I know that I don't need to speak on other things because some people are just trying to drain me of my energy and get a reaction out of me so that I look like the bad guy, so that I look like the crazy one. But here's the Queen of Swords, and that's that new energy of discernment coming in here. So you're like, I know what I need to speak on and I know what I need to talk about versus what doesn't deserve my time or energy because it just doesn't. Okay. Some of you could be getting new shoes too, or like new clothes, or you're wanting to. I don't know why I'm being drawn to that, but that could be part of the new energy that's coming in. You're styling yourself differently, you're presenting yourself differently, you're appearing differently. Some of you are definitely noticing some sort of physical appearance change too over the next 30 days. And I'm getting that you like it. You're happy with this physical appearance change. And it's coming from your mindset too. Yeah, the Queen of Swords. The way that you think about yourself and the way that you speak about yourself, you're seeing it. And so the more that you're like speaking about how attractive you are, how beautiful you are, how much you love your body, how fit you are, so on and so forth, the more that you're seeing it. Definitely. I like this. You're definitely seeing some sort of change in your physical appearance and you're happy about it. You're celebrating it. We're seeing the Four of Wands. Okay. Some of you, the newness that's coming in feels like connection. Connection after a long time of not connecting to others. So in your work energy and in your like spiritual space, I do feel like you're having to put up energetic boundaries and just put up boundaries in general and like claim your own authority and claim your own power. But outside of that, in your like social world, it feels like you're going to be making new connections, or at least just like having communication and conversations and little connections with people here and there. That's part of the newness that's coming in. For some of you, it could be dating and romance too, because the Four of Wands can sometimes represent that to me. And then I'm also getting like, there could be invitations to events, to parties, to people's homes, different things like that coming up for you too. You're moving into a new space of abundance. We've been talking about that. It feels like that's what's happening in October. You're moving into a new space of abundance. And your vibration is different. It's like higher now. And so you're finding yourself in alignment to people, places, and things that you used to want. What's interesting here though is that you're going to see that you're above some of these things, or you wanted some of these things when you weren't this version of yourself. And then now when you're getting these things that you thought you wanted, you don't really want them anymore, or you feel like they're beneath you. I've been getting that message lately and I don't know how to say it. I don't mean it in a condescending way. When I say beneath you, I really just mean that it just doesn't align to you and your path. It just doesn't resonate with you, right? But for some reason it does come out when I'm articulating it as beneath you. Okay. I feel like you're finding your place in the world. You could be finding your voice, finding your place in the world, finding your stance in the world, finding your position in the world. And I think that's something to celebrate. So that could be something too that's new for you. You're starting to like celebrate your growth and reward yourself for growth. Some of you in the past, it feels like you didn't reward yourself or celebrate yourself because of this feeling of obligation. For example, it's like maybe you don't celebrate graduating high school like some other people do because you're just like, this is an obligation. Like I was supposed to graduate high school. There was never another reality where I didn't do that. But for some people, that is a big accomplishment. It is a big celebration. So that's what I'm getting now. It's like you're starting to celebrate all of the wins in life, or that's at least the guidance. And to stop being so hard on yourself. And then we're seeing the King of Cups. This new energy that's coming in is really an energy of self-love, and it's really an energy of loving yourself. And I feel so like corny and cheesy talking about it, but I like can't stop talking about it because it's real and genuine love that you feel for yourself that's coming in here, and it's unconditional love. And for some of you, you were waiting for it to come from somebody else, but you're actually giving it to yourself, and then realizing that once you give it to yourself, that's when you're able to give it to other people. Right, the Empress. Some of you are attracting some romantic interest for sure. I'm not even making it up. Like, you don't have to believe me, but some of you are definitely attracting some romantic interest. The thing is, though, your intuition is going to tell you what this person or these people are thinking about you when they're approaching you. So always listen to your intuition. For some of you, I'm getting that some of these people are going to be approaching you, but they don't feel like they're good enough for you, or they feel like they're beneath you. Right? I keep getting that. It just feels like with the Six of Wands in the reverse, the High Priestess, and the Justice card, some of these new people that you're going to be talking to or who are going to be trying to form a connection with you, your intuition is going to be telling you that they feel like they're not good enough for you. Which could be different for some of you because maybe in the past you haven't felt good enough for other people, but you learned that you are good enough and you are good enough in love, and so you're going to attract people from both sides, people who don't feel good enough and then compare themselves to you because you're just naturally loving yourself now, and then you're going to attract people who are like you, who do naturally unconditionally love themselves and they did the work on themselves too. So that does feel like something that's coming in for you. Discernment is going to be really key for you with these new energies coming your way. But you can trust yourself. That's a thing though too. You have to trust yourself with these new energies coming your way. And you've done so much work to learn how to trust yourself in the cocoon of life. That's what this Hanged Man card feels like. It feels like you were in a cocoon and you've learned what you needed to learn. And you can trust yourself. So your intuition and your gut are always right. If you're sensing some sort of bad vibes or red flags, then you're right. But if you're sensing good vibes and balance, then you're right on that too. Try not to psych yourself out in either way, okay? What other new energy is coming in for Virgo? Some of you could be getting a new car or a new pet or both, okay? Because I'm seeing the Chariot card, and for some reason I'm reading the Sphinxes, are they Sphinxes? As cats. If I'm wrong, some of you will let me know. But I'm reading this as cats, and then the Chariot always represents like a car or some sort of vehicle. So some of you could be getting a new bike, new vehicle, new pet. That could be part of the newness that's coming in. And then we're seeing the Moon card. I do want to clarify that. What's that about? Oh, it's about your mind. Yeah, this new mind is coming in because of the new moon energy. Thank you, Spirit. I actually don't want to pull these cards. I touched them, I grabbed them, I started shuffling them, and I was like, no, I don't want to touch these. Yeah, we're seeing the High Priestess. Trust your intuition. My intuition was like, no, there are no messages there. The moon, though, we were talking about how it was the new moon, and so the newness that's emerging with this new moon energy. Here it is. This reading was the new moon energy. Thank you, Spirit, for the confirmation and the clarification. Some of you could be developing new feelings too, new emotions as well. That could be what the moon card is here too. As you face your fears and as you triumph over your fears, you're going to feel new ways and feel new ways about yourself. That's beautiful. It's very empowering, right? With the Queen of Swords, you're going to feel new ways about yourself. You're going to feel like you are your own authority. Some of you are going to feel really bossy, like in a really like bossy boss leadership vibe. Hopefully that makes sense. And it's okay, you're allowed to feel that way. I think it's important that you know that, because some of you, these new feelings are going to be uncomfortable only because of self-judgment from the past and only because of how you're fearing other people might be perceiving you. But if it's authentic, it's authentic. And I know you know what that means, okay? The energy is gaining momentum. That is your last card. Things are no longer stagnant or stuck for you, okay? Things are gaining momentum in all ways in your life. Hopefully this reading helped you. I'm sending you love always. Take care of yourself, stay hydrated, and I will see you next time. Peace.